Hello and welcome back to more Danganronpa Trigger Havoc. Yeah, last time we fell into the garbage pit. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Oh well, let's hope it's some food and maybe some water. That'd be nice. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? Carefully stretched my hand out towards whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. We heard the voice clip. They ruined it. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. Kyoko!
It smells awful.
You kind of have a cup noodle on your head. Ugh. Kyoko? You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash and faced me again. Hey. First, I have something to tell you. No, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. You must be starved. Oh, Kyoko, thank you. I'm so starved. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth, making its way towards my stomach. So we pretty much inhaled it. Whew, that really hits the spot. I've got all this energy, I need to keep going. So, you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Alright, so, do you have a plan? Cause I'm pretty much stumped, Kyoko. Why'd you come to rescue me, though?
So...
To pay a debt. Or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew. I didn't want to kill Kyoko, I just couldn't do it.
Indeed.
Even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me. I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
Listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but... there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. And what's the reason, Kyoko? Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. One that is what? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. And that is? So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once. Until recently I'd forgotten what it was. I forgot, but that's... just like she told us. I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing... you're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation with myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school. I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. And my theories on brainwashing are coming together. Woohoo! Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think, I'm positive it was the work of the Mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? Well, it's pretty obvious, being the ultimate something. Don't know what yet. There had to have been a good reason. The ultimate ability she had to have been the very reason he did it. Just like she's saying, yeah. Basically, let me read that, I kinda skipped past it. But why would they want to do that? The only reason I can come up with, because of my purpose and my ability, somehow that would interfere with the Mastermind's plans. So, she's pretty much getting at the same thing I thought. Good, great minds think alike. So the Mastermind just stole them for you?
However...
And it could also mean... How do you just steal memories, though? Somehow my memories may have... or may be connected to this mystery of this school and the Mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the Mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the Mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The Mastermind's one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
It didn't help we lied to her either. That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the Mastermind. That was just my intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the damn Mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Oh wow, that dream's making more sense. It's just like the dream I had before, but... Why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh man, my theories. Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ultimate ability, which is... Mention your ability? My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. It was fairly obvious from how good she was with, you know, dead bodies and stuff.
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, and she was also extremely good at investigating everything around the bodies, so there was a few reasons I thought that. There was someone I had to find here in the school. Okay. I just skipped the Mukuro dialogue. The ultimate detective? For me, it seemed fairly obvious. After the first two trials, I was like, You had to find someone who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why do you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak's headmaster? And that explains... When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
What?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? Oh. My memory hadn't come back at that point. But when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
Now listen, Makoto. I want to make this perfectly clear so that there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind. But I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. And what did you see in there, Kyoko?
So...
The headmaster's room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That's my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But what was there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that, if that was true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
once I got there, I noticed the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. Which is strange. So, was it like the part of the school I mean? It's hard to describe, but all I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean by that?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see for yourself. I'm sure you'll get enough chance, or get your chance soon enough. I'll get my chance alright, hopefully. First, we have to find a way out of here. Sounds like it must be important, and really ominous.
However...
Of course, once I got to the... Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone had you and me, or everyone but you and me had an alibi. So, then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the Mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed? I stole the key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was. Makes more sense. The Mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
In other words...
The Mastermind is adamant about following the rules. With that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The Mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the Mastermind themselves is somehow behind... Or, sorry, the Mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations. There's one thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. May not have become the victim. What's that, is what he said. It could have been you, Makoto. It could have been the victim.
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You mean that night when he was sitting there going, "I'm gonna stab ya!" During the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the God of Death. What? I can hear the God of Death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell. I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised and the dojo key wound up in my room? It all has to be the work of the Mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. What do you mean by that? So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro was also the Mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if it's true. It means the Mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The Mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because you couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. It's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does this all mean?
In other words,
It means that the Mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the Mastermind's identity. Identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not. If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. A tragedy, whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair? Despicable group whose only purpose and motivation came from despair. And make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Oh, hot diggity damn! Normal dash, bite of a junk food junkie! The irony here, no one died! Yay! That's good and bad, I guess. You received the Dream Island rocket present. Thank you. Yeah, we'll save. 5 alive! Sorry. Anyways, let's save and continue on. The ultimate despair, a group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. The same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. This is just crazy. So how do we get out, Kyoko? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the Headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the Mastermind. I would never part with it. Well, yeah, 'cause you're smart. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. And we should be able to use it on that door, right? Motions to the door up there. This one. Hey Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door? Or we can use it to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Please work, please work. Kyoko took the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, click! Oh, like magic. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good to me. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Jesus, that sounds like some really bad place I don't want to mention on camera. Almost sounds like a strip joint to me. I'm gonna mention it anyways. Welcome, come all, to the garbage pit. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. The ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death, deadly alive! Holy crap! I was looking away because the cats started fighting and... I got a mouthful for it. Anyways, after leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long, I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you've said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Don't look down, Makoto, don't look down. Maybe talking will keep my mind off of it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There's a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things. And to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can say it's entirely rational. Or I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed. And we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains it. Before I came here, one was looking up... Wait, what? Before I came here, one was looking up info about the school online. I think they've forgotten I there. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak Academy, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. The reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak Academy, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that. I can agree.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? Then why'd you come here? But you'd be reuniting after all these years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. Well, there is a reason it's involving her father, like I thought. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself. But apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. Went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and as young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work that I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. Couldn't see how she looked when she said that. What she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that, compared to her usual self, she was more talkative, more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life too. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But the rest of my family looked at me. They saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. This is how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. As we connected by heart and soul? Or sorry, are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. Well, I know people that aren't too close to their parents, and they have friends that are closer than their parents. So, it's not hard to believe, but it's sad when that has to be true. Oh, let me not skip that. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond, so instead... I said nothing. Nothing? What could you say? That's quite something she said to us. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence, and after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it. On the other side of the store, Host Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. Reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. Clunk! The hatch opened with ease, and so... we were back, just like that. The ultimate rescue, the ultimate escape, all thanks to my friend Kirigiri, because I believed in her. None of us had to die this way. And because of the sacrifice of Chihiro, or alter ego Chihiro, still awesome. Anyways, that's the end of today's episode. If you did enjoy the episode, please do leave a like and maybe a comment to show your support. If you have yet to do so, subscribe to my channel for more Danganronpa. Looks like we're back! I'm quite happy considering we didn't die in a trash pit. The lovely Kyoko saved us. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Yeah, we're not really safe considering we're back into the lion's den. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Oh, Kyoko. But the question is, what do we do now? Pretty sure if we leave this room, we're gonna be caught by the Mastermind. So that's probably a big no-no. So, what do we do now? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the Mastermind finds out... I'm worried about you, too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Let's just get a concrete answer.
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. It's not like we can run away. He does have a good point. And she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
Because...
Oh, so no Gunganir spearing me through the neck. Because the Mastermind is the one that's ensnared. What has she set up? That's my question. What's she been doing this whole time? Or the whole time we didn't see her? Probably involving what she's talking about now. Anyways, the Mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The Mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the Mastermind let their guard down. There was. If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little... No, I'm super uneasy about this. Well, how about ultimately uneasy about this? But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the
Shall
gym.
we go?
Let's get going. Oh, yep, that's our Kyoko. Off to the gym we go, and instead of walking, let's just use the wonderful fast travel. Off to the gym to see Monokuma. I hope he doesn't gut me like a pig. Or more like me trying to, you know, interfere with his little babies. Because bears don't like it when you touch their babies.
Well now.
Kyoko, I don't like so much! But Mukuro was supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed! It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I'm gonna punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance! Kyoko, whatever you feel you have to. What? No!
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
no.
If you execute Mukuro, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
Yo, explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial for yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as a blackened and then executed, right? Hey! What are you talking about?
however,
But when Mukuro chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Mukuro the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Mukuro, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
Then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your previous execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Mukuro didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Mukuro for it would surely be a violation of your own rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me, not Mukuro.
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this? Commodity routine! Commodity routine? Commodity routine! It makes such bold claims without a shred of evidence!
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. Now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type!
Because
Mukuro really was the killer. He never would have come to you willingly like this. Would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by despair you love. Okay, right. Yes, he's trying to, make us all despair. Despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence!
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Mukuro now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Mukuro. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Mukuro without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. You want to earn our despair fair and square?
what we have to do.
Then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. From this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown, in other words. This would be your one chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the Mastermind themselves. But, what reason would the Mastermind have to accept the challenge? They probably would just execute me without another word. Or they'll probably execute me without another word. Interesting!
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed! Oh, the bear puns, yes! Barry!
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for bear jokes. Now what your suggestion might be no! Plausible! Would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words,
Does that mean you accepted?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? It would cause you unbearable despair, right? I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely
Let's have one finally grisly showdown! He agreed. And we still have a shot at this, but those bear puns no.
bear it!
This is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-off, we'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right! The very last mystery that's pulling around the school! If you can do that,
I can barely
and that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you! That confused me. He's trying to say qualify. Like the bear, the koala bear. Qualify. The tongue twister on that word for me. That's what you've been trying to do all along. Or what we've been trying to do all along. I'm sorry, those bear puns threw me right out of the story. Okay, well, good, then let's bear it all! If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of this school,
You guys!
then you'll win! But if you can't do all that... Well, I'll face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement! Will you learn the whole truth? What kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
Surprisingly well. But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that, for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? Not to be so spacious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations? It would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyways, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. The only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking! I got nothing left to say to you! So get lost, would ya? Why is he so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore! I think we got all that. Let me just double check here. Yeah, just dots. We're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. Need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. That laugh was so good. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were headed to the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than I expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, I don't know what to say. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so...
Well, viewership they do. They had no choice but to accept.
Because...
It's all because of that one moment that the Mastermind let their guard down, like I said. Their guard down, why was that and when? So when was it that the Mastermind let their guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, the Mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
Think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason.
so...
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other? You wanted to show that to the world?
It would seem...
The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all of your rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anyone.
In other words,
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why? To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point? The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink in despair, the Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? You want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group, whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair? But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet... that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The Mastermind has had to be more peculiar, or particular, than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored the rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least, that's how those who were watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. Oh, that's her, sorry. So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. When that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in a perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own school regulations. All of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge. Scary.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. I was saying it all along, I believed in her! I'm happy I did. Still, I can't believe how much of the Mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right, this time at least. I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd shown my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. And you're probably right about that. How pathetic.
However...
Anyways, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can defeat the Mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. I mean, if we can't. There's no option except to win.
Hey.
Before we begin the final begattle? Gosh darn it, I really gotta stop recording these late at night. But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the Mastermind. Work together with everyone.
However...
Is that really possible? Anyway, right now we have to go find the others.
Shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Yeah, they are probably in the dorms somewhere, but she does have a point. Will we really be able to get them to work together? Anyways, we'll find that out next time on Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like, maybe a comment to show your support, and subscribe to my channel if you've yet to do so. Friends, Meisters, peace out. I'll see you next time.